Did you notice that great entrance? It's kind of like coming from behind stage. I mean, it was just like, I bet Roger Brower didn't do that, did he? Roger and I are good friends. I got to admit that he and I have traveled a lot of roads together. I admire him. He's a fabulous, fabulous artist. Tonight he can't be with me because he's doing ceremony down at my hometown, which is Kyle, South Dakota. Every year we have this conflicting interest, so I didn't come to his either. No. Anyway, thank you for being here. I know it's a little assignment to be here, but it's neat to see you guys. I'm on the board of directors here at Crazy Horse, so I have seen some of your names, and I know where some of you come from and stuff, so yeah, I have one of those too. Look at this. And then I also have one of these right here. Yeah, this is the big shot one. This is like the big guys wear, you know. I had to get through the gate somehow, so I had to wear it, you know. So, but anyway, it's a great series this summer. I mean, there's Jim Yellowhawk, Ed McGaw, and there's just an amazing amount of talent that's going to be here tonight or on Thursday nights throughout the summertime. I'm carrying this for no special reason other than I have to have something in my hand because I'm nervous. I'm not like Roger. I don't have a short, attention span, but I do get a little nervous. That's why I kind of came and gave some of you a hard time before I talked. Well, anyway, I'm going to take you through a process that Roger did with artwork, and Roger did it on a table, and he had you all grouped around, and he was poking at you guys and making fun of everybody and making you get back, and stuff like that, or guess why I put this red here or something. Well, mine's all going to be new. It's going to be on a PowerPoint. Last year I did the same type of presentation Roger did, but you couldn't see it because it's flat. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try something new. So here it is, my introduction to the world of art. And this is one of my paintings that sold down at Red Cloud Art Show about 2 weeks ago. And that's always great for an artist to have something of his sell. This is 12 inches by 36 inches. It's canvas. Each one of those little circles that you see on there, ooh, look at this, right there, is quarters. And I got a little domer, it's called, and you put that domer on top of your coin, you hit it, and it makes it dish-shaped. So that's what I did to each one of those. This one over here is a ledger page out of an old book, and I glued it to that canvas. This is my family. We can't start anywhere without our family, without somebody created us. And so I had a mother and my father. But unfortunately, my mother had a hard time delivering me, and so I'm the only child. I have no brothers and sisters. My wife, who's Paulette, is right back there. She has 8 in her family. And coming from a household where I'm the only one, I get everything. Christmas comes, birthday comes, I got it. Paulette had to share with 7 other kids. It had to be tough. So, anyway, this is me. I'm the cute little guy. That's my dad. I'm the cute little guy. Hair, look at that. Man, woo! If I had that today, I'd be probably a movie star. And this is, I got to go to the Institute of American Indian Arts in Santa Fe, New Mexico after I graduated from high school. You guys are on your adventure right now. You're on your road. That's going to lead you, God, who knows where. But mine led me from Kyle, South Dakota on the Pine Ridge Reservation up to Rapid City where I went to school to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And that was life-changing because my mom didn't have any control over me anymore because I was 799 miles away from her. God, what a relief. So, this is who my teachers were, and they're just fabulous teachers. There's Fritz Scholder here, there's Alan Hauser is here. I mean, these guys just went on from being teachers to world-class artists. And just known throughout the whole world as great people. There's Audley Loloma and Josephine Wapp, and there's just a number of them. We was called the Golden Age. We was the ones that the Bureau of Indian Affairs had unlimited amounts of money to spend in this school. So we had fabulous wealth of things. And the other two that I attribute my artwork to is Herman Red Elk, the bigger guy, and Oscar Howe. These are my mentors. These are the ones that not only taught me how to be a Native person, but they gave me my Indian name, which is Yellowbird, Zinkala Z. Montileaux is so French, European. And Zinkala Z, they said, well, you know, you got to go through life, Red Elk, Howe. So they said, you need a Native name, so they gave me Yellowbird one summer day. So they're both very accomplished artists. I'm really sorry because I couldn't find my Oscar Howe poster. But these are Herman Red Elk. Herman's got a great style and something that I copied throughout quite a few years of Herman. So these are his. And they're casing on watercolor paper. These things were done like in 1965. That's like almost the dinosaurs were rolling the roads back then. You know? But anyway, I was 18 years old then. And Oscar Howe was something that I always wanted to be. He was a teacher, a professor of art at the university, a family man, and also a great artist. And that's what I always wanted to be, was those three things too. And I'm a family man. I have 3 children. I was a teacher. I taught on Cheyenne River Reservation. I got my degree in teaching. And I'm on my way to being a fairly good artist. So that's what I achieved. Creating a piece of artwork. This is where it all starts. First you get your inspiration. Then you get your piece of paper. And I don't use a sketchbook. I go through reams of typing paper. I have these on my clipboard at home and I just draw. If I'm sitting there, I'm drawing. And sometimes it comes up as a good idea and sometimes trash it, you know, or whatever. But, so I make a drawing initially, and since I do draw, my artwork is all on ledger paper currently. I'm doing just, the ledger paper is from books that used to keep businesses. Like how much money they had and things like that. We all do it on computer anymore. But back in 1893 and stuff like that, they had to have books, accounting books, so they knew where their money was at. But now, it's really hard to acquire these things. This is 1897, this paper right here. And you'd think it'd be real brittle, right? I mean, it's over 120 years old. I'm gonna pass it around and you can look at it. Hold it up to the light too. It's all color mark. It's got a watermark in it and stuff like that too. So I find these books. I take my drawing. I do my drawing. I take a tracing paper. I put the tracing paper on top of that paper, and I transfer all the lines that I want off the paper onto the tracing paper. Once I get that done, I turn it over and I retrace those same lines. After I get the drawing on both sides, then I transfer it to my ledger paper. So, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I got my image up. This image right here is going to be this once we get done seeing all what's happening on the hair. So, the image is up. A little bit of change. I had my horse's head higher. I decided I wanted a bow's head. And you could do this on tracing paper, so you're not limited. There's me, my studio, working. I got a fan, which I wished I had right now. Transferring it to the ledger. Then I take my felt tip pen and I just trace those same lines with my felt tip pen to make it darker. Continually doing it, and then pretty much it's all there. It's all been magic markered in, and the image itself is pretty much all there. So from this point on, the only thing I can do now is color it. I can't change anything. I've already made the image itself. And that's my tools right there. These are my carousel. I use Prisma-colored pencils. And that's, when I first started out about 20 years ago, a pencil was 85 cents. That was a pencil, 85 cents. Today, they're $2.10 for a pencil. Simple little colored pencil. But they're the best there is. So that's my deal. There's another image. It's just progressing. I'm starting to use the other thing that instructors don't like about me, art instructors don't like, is that I go from dark to light. I don't go from light to dark. So the first thing I lay down is black. Don't ever do that unless you're really happy with what you got. So that's black. And then I start putting all my colors. The last thing I do is I put my light color on my images. So the other thing is I put all red. If I get a piece of red pencil, I put every little piece of red that's going to be in that drawing on first. So, whoa, that got exciting. So all this, whoa, I'm hitting the wrong button. This is all red. Looks like it's orange right now, but it's all actually red. So put that all in. Then I bring the yellow, which is the next one right here, a yellow. Put that all in. And it's just like a coloring book. After you get to this point in time, it's just like a coloring book. It's just fun. You can just start adding colors to it. I wear a mask because 3 years ago I started getting real clogged up. Went to the doctor. I not only got hay fever, I'm also allergic to my pencils from working with them for so long. So if you guys are starting out young, if you're using some kind of airbrush or pencils, whatever in your artwork, put a mask on. It really saves you down the line. So this is what I did was, I did the drawing right here. I did this drawing, just the drawing. And that's pretty much what it is right there. Then I came back in with my tracing paper and I did the shadow on that drawing as well too. So I put a shadow on it. What the shadow does, it gives a three-dimensional feel to it. It really makes it look three-dimensional. So, and here it comes. I'm just putting the shadows in right there. You can see it's darker and darker. And there it is, bang, bang. Don't have the red sun in there yet, but it's pretty much coming up the way I'm looking at it. Like I was telling these guys over here, I want to have my art so you can walk into it one of these days. You ever see that artwork in New York City? It's on sidewalks and it's three-dimensional. Look like you fall in it. That's what I want my art to be. I want to be able to be on a wall and you feel like you just want to walk through it. Just walk into it. And then you bump your head or your nose and you go, oh man, I broke my cookie. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to mention cookies. But a different deal. And if you notice how wrinkled that piece of paper is, it's old. It's kind of like me, wrinkled. Roger was real wrinkled. No. But I'm going to tell you guys laughed at him when I said he was wrinkled. I'm going to see him in a couple. Hey, if y'all, I don't know, probably Roger mentioned this too, but the third weekend of August, the 19th of July, third weekend of August, the 19th of July, it's a Saturday. Okay, I got you now, huh? Anyway, we're all going to be down at the Main Street Square in Rapid City. Roger and I will be there. If you come by, you can laugh at us. But if you are in August, the third week of August, you can go to Santa Fe. I'll be there too, and Roger will be there too with our booth. So you can come see us there. And Robert Martinez will be there too. So more of me drawing. You notice how dirty I get when I draw? Mixing all that paint and canvas and stuff like that? That don't happen. But there's my son. My son's coming up now, starting. Look at how good I am at drawing circles too. That's the perfect circle. Actually, I think I had a silver dollar to do that with or something like that. There it is. It's pretty much done. It's all complete. And I'm pretty proud of it, so my wife snapped my picture of me doing this. And then I titled it Red Hawk. So this is Red Hawk. So, the one thing too that you can do is like you can sell this painting. Like I've been at it for a long time and I'll have it framed and mat it. And this is the finished piece. This is the original right here. All framed, matted and everything. This is $1,150. So if any of you guys got plastic cards, I mean, it's candy money. Credit cards are not real money. It's candy money. You could put this on your credit card. You don't have to worry about it till you're 20 years down the road. You still pay on it. No, don't do that. But anyway, that's what I tell rich people that want to buy my stuff. So anyway, it's all done up. So that's pretty cool. I like it. You get a chance after it's over, you come up, look at it. Well, you can sell this piece for $1,100. That's pretty good. But I make prints of my things. Usually I make 25 of them, 12 of them, something like that. And then we sell them at Crazy Horse up here, the gift shop, $80 a piece for these things. So if I do 10, that's $800. So that's pretty good. 11, 8, we're up to 9. Then we do these little bitty postcard looking things, you know. We do about 20, 25 of these. Sell these for $1, $2, something like that. Eventually we're going to get $2,000. So, rather than just having an original, you can do these things and you can make yourself a lot of money. And it's so easy today. I mean, with computers the way they are, printers are cool. I mean, they're all laser jets. So you can do this and you can make yourself some dollars. And being an artist, I have a lot of opportunities that present itself to me through the years. I did a talk at the School of Mines in Rapid City to a bunch of students like you guys. And I walked out and the president of the School of Mines was standing at the door. And I was so impressed, like I am with you guys, that I says, if there's anything I can do to help this program out, let me know. 2 weeks later he called and he says, we'd like you to do a painting, but we don't have no money. You know, great. I mean, artists are all wealthy anyway. We don't need money. But he says, what I'll do though is we're going to make 500 prints and then we'll give you 10%. So I got 50. And we're going to do them in watercolor. We'll put them on nice paper and everything. So I did this print right here. Because the skill program is really scientists and mathematic people. And they're smart kids. They're like you guys. They're on the other spectrum of the teeter-totter. They're the ones that's getting the A's and the B's. I was over here getting the D's and scraping by and not hoping that I didn't get an F. You know, but I admire you guys. So I did this. And I call looking beyond oneself, which is kind of cool. Don't look where you're at now. Look beyond that. Well, the School of Mines is a very prestigious school, and they have a lot of mathematicians. They have a lot of scientists that go to that school. One of them returned that summer, and he was scheduled to go up on the shuttlecraft Endeavour. He was going to be flight engineer. And he liked this idea of what was going on and how it was kind of generate money to help the program go. And he says, what if I take the original, I'll roll it up, I'll put it in a tube, and I'll stick it under my seat, and we'll launch it into space with me. Once we get up there, I'll unroll it, go like this, and we'll roll it back up, put it in a tube, and bring it back down. And it'll gain a lot of notoriety. I mean, this is cool. And at that time, this thing went up on, it was launched on March 2nd, 1995 at 12:38 a.m. Well, I'm all thrilled about this. You know, I'm the first living artist at that time to go up in space, to have a piece of artwork go up in space, because they researched it. Well, Arthur Amy, who lives here in Custer, he's a really great artist. And so I call up Arthur, because he's kind of my mentor and stuff like that. And I say, Arthur, my piece is going to be launched in space on a shuttlecraft Endeavour. And I'm the first artist that has had it done. He says, no, you're not. I said, yeah, I am, because they researched it. No, you're not. I said, well, why not? He says, well, I heard about that. I went down to the Coast to Coast store down here in Custer, and I painted the nose cone on one of those rockets, those sky rockets. I launched it last night. So you're the second artist that went up in space. And I said, all right. So my head went from this way to, okay, you bring it back to Earth, But it did. It did this whole thing, and this is a little thing that tells about how many times it went around the Earth, how fast it went around the Earth. It went 17,500 miles an hour. That's how fast that rocket was moving around the Earth. And this is one of the presidents. What's his? Anybody know who this guy is? Yeah, there you go. Well, I got to go to the White House to present one of the #1 print to the President of the United States. And I'm standing over there, and he's standing over here, and there was the president of the School of Mines standing right beside him and all these other guys. And he said, well, where's the artist? And I said, here I am. He said, get over here. Come here. You stand beside me. Here, you move over a little bit. So, man, I was right by the President of the United States. That was awesome. So anyway, there I am. So that's where art can take you. You just never know. I'm sitting in my studio in Rapid City drawing or something like that, just did this little thing. Who knows where it's going to go? It could go into space. Well, did I go? Yeah, here I was clicking this thing. Anyway, as an artist, again, you get opportunities. And the opportunity existed that I could do illustrator. I could be an illustrator for books. Not my own book, but illustrators for other people's books. And that was really nice. I illustrated the first one. It's called Tatanka. It's about the story of the Lakota people, how we came up from Wind Cave onto the surface. And it was translated into Lakota. So it's English and Lakota, the book. And I did all the drawings. Well, they liked it. They thought the drawings were cool, and it won a lot of awards. And it's like K through 8, that's what it's written for, K through 8th grade. And then the publisher, who's the Cultural Center in Pierre, publishes the book. They like that idea, so they says, well, we have another book that we'd like you to illustrate. This book is about buffalo. And I thought, oh my God, how do you make buffalo interesting? They're big, they're brown, they smell, they grunt. Well, I thought, well, I'm going to make them colorful. And I'm going to give them all different kinds of designs on them as well. So each character in the book had a unique design. Yes?
You went backwards quite a few.
Did I? Man, I get this clicker going and I'm just happy. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. There we go. I'll hold this. Okay, so I illustrated another book, and it's all about this buffalo herd travels around and goes through life, and the little bitty guy, he's just a small calf when his dad gets beat up by another bull to take care of the herd, and so he's too little to do anything about it. Well, he grows up and he goes through the book, he gains things, he does different things, and he really becomes a great buffalo. And every time he did these things, I gave him a different mark. So he really became a colorful figure eventually he takes the herd back from the other buffalo, and he becomes the big guy. Well, when they give you a script for a book, they don't give the author's name to you. So you just read it and you illustrate it. Well, after I got all done, I found out the author is Frank Baum. He also wrote The Wizard of Oz. And that was really cool. So the other thing, the book is a series book. There's 5 of them. This is the 5th one in that series. So if you want to complete the series, you have to buy this one. So that was another good place to be. You know, they always say, what do they say? Anyway, right place, right time, you know. Well, I was in the right place, right time with this book right here. So again, the head swelled a little bit. Okay, are we almost to that point now? Yay. Yeah. Nope. How come you're not clicking? Okay. This is Tashunka. This is my book. When I was doing the illustrating for the other books, I said, well, how much do I get? And they said, well, we'll give you 5% of each book that sells. So if they sell for $20, I get 5%, which isn't very good. So I said, well, what if I wrote it and illustrated it, and then you published it? How much would I get? And they said, well, you get 25% of each book. And that's pretty cool. That's really good. And there's a lot of legends in our native tribes that we have, stories. And so I wrote one about Tashunka, which is horse in Lakota. And it's how we acquired the horse eons ago, centuries and centuries ago. And it's how the horse, and this is fact. You can go to the School of Mines Museum, or you can go to the Badland Museum down Cedar Pass, and they have a 3-toed horse. He's a little guy, about big as a German Shepherd. But the horses originated here on North America, and then they traveled the land bridge up by Alaska over to Asia, developed into the big horse that we know today, and he was brought back by the conquistadors. Well, this story is prior to those things, and I wrote it and illustrated it. And this is just one of the pages that's in the book. But in order to, start coming across your storyline, and then you get your ideas for how you're going to draw it and everything. You do the drawings, and you have them all. And I do a Prismacolor pencil. That's my media with chalk. So you have a rewriter. You submit the story, and you think it's fabulous, right? Because you wrote it. Well, a rewriter will make it even better, because they'll write it for a grade level. My book, this one right here, is K through 6. And that's really good, because my reading skill is about 6th grade. No. So, who's in speech here? Who's in speech class? You know, when I was in high school, I took speech. And what I did, I always got up first in the speech class, because when you get up first in speech class, nobody's watching you. They're all down there studying their speech, hoping, oh God, don't call me next. So if you're in speech class, be the first one to get up to that podium, give your talk. You're looking at a bunch of heads. You're not even looking at eyes. And it really, really helps. I got an A in speech because I was number 1 up to the class. And then I could sit back there and go like, hey, I'm done. But the rewriter and the book designer, they have a lot of say in how your book's going to eventually end up. Well, there's a place in the book that says a warrior goes out on the plains, a warrior. So I thought, there's no way that I'm going to go out on the plains around this northern region alone. I'm going to have a buddy. So I put 2 guys. Well, the designer and the rewrite said, it says a warrior. So I had to drop a warrior. So there's only 1 warrior in that book right now. There's only There's only the one guy. And that's kind of a pain because I was all done writing. And let me see if I can find A warrior. Here he is. In the book, A warrior, right there. The unique thing about this book is it's in English and Lakota again, and it really sells. This book has gotten the Silver Spur Award right here. It's a really Western Writers of America present this award. And the first time I got it, I didn't know what it was because I'm not an author, I'm an artist. And so I had it out on my desk up at Deadwood because the South Dakota Book Festival was up there and I was invited. Well, all these people were walking by and they were looking kind of mean at me. They didn't want to talk to me, they were giving me the eye. And my buddy is S.D. Nelson. He's a great writer of children's book. He's been doing it 20 years. And I said, what's the deal? He says, well, you got that Silver Spur sitting right out there. And those guys have been writing 10 or 15 years and they have never even gotten that award. And you come out first time, bang, you nailed it. I said, oh, okay, well, let's put this thing up a little bit and we'll show it off some then. I know what number one is supposed to be, but I won a lot of other awards. But it's also because I got a great publisher, and that's why these awards are there too. So, and let's see where we're at. Okay, so there's my book, there's my awards, and there I am. And I'm on a new adventure. I mean, I really, really like this. Writing is hard, though. God, it's hard. You know, you write it, and you got to spell right. You got to put points where the sentence is in. I love to write just one big sentence, you know, through the whole thing. What happened to the paragraph? I don't know. It went over here. Well, this is a new thought. It's okay. Can you capitalize? Why? I'm terrible. Don't believe everything I said. I know how to do that. And I can really set good and look good too with my hat on. Well, my idea in my studio is I'm right now finalizing a new book. It's called Muskrat and Skunk. And muskrat, who all knows what a muskrat looks like? Ugly little animal, right? I mean, they're like a wet rat with a tail. Well, I thought muskrat would be cool because they do got big back feet because they got the webs. And they got the tail for steering. And I thought, well, they're a rodent. Here, I could use this thing. You can tell it's the first time out. But they're a rodent, so they got good sized teeth. So he went from that ugly rat to a pretty cool dude. So there's muskrat. And skunk, you don't want to mess with skunk. I mean, there's one place you don't ever want to be with a skunk, and that's behind him. Maybe you want in front of him and keep ahead of him. So I thought, well, skunk's probably arrogant. You know, he's probably cool. I mean, you're not going to mess with me. If you do, I'm going to squirt you. So I made him kind of arrogant. And once you get that done, then it kind of starts flowing. You know, you got your characters, so then they can start flowing. Then a bear came up in my story. Oh my God. You can't put claws and big teeth on a bear because it's scared of little guys. K through 4. They have nightmares. So you got to make them look good. And I didn't bring bear, but bear does look good. But this is Muskrat and Skunk. They're drumming on this log. And they're just pounding away, man. They're just in their own zoned out, you know, and stuff like that. They're having a fun time. And anyway, I got to the point where I'm probably, I don't know how I got here, but I did. I'm going to back up one. Okay. I do socks too. My truck is outside and I've got all this stuff in it. You want to come by, I mean, I'll just lay it out on the tailgate and we'll sell stuff. But anyway, what they are is they're warrior socks. And if you can't wear your mocks, wear warrior socks. Anybody dance there? Any pretty traditional dancers? We had a powwow in October at the Civic Center in Rapid. And man, these guys were coming by, and the guys in the back here, I mean, studs walking. And they seen these things. I never seen them find their girlfriends and their moms so fast to buy them a pair of Warrior socks. And it's so cool. And the other thing is you can always walk on me because this is the soul and that's where my signature is. It's gold, you know. As an artist, you're kind of out there. Roger was so calm and cool. I mean, Roger never bragged. But anyway, where are they? How much are they? 30. Yeah, 15 apiece. So, you just go with it, man. I have a wonderful life. My life is cool because I get up and I sometimes I put my slippers on. Sometimes I just go in my studio with my socks because my studio's in my house. And then I have another studio that's in Prairie Edge up on the top floor. And where my studio's at in Prairie Edge, I look out over the square. So in the summertime, I see the fountain. Everybody's getting crazy and doing things. In wintertime, I watch the ice skaters skate around. So if you're ever in Rapid, you are at Prairie Edge, ask if I'm in. And if I am, I'll come and get you and I'll show you my studio. You all got my card. If you are there, email me and I'll meet you down. I'll meet you in my gallery. And so, it's open invitation. Come and see me. So, the big one. Isn't he cool? He almost made the book, but he wasn't good enough. But anyway, he's kind of quiet, but he's asking for questions. Anybody got questions? Okay.
Why do you choose to do your artwork on ledger paper?
Well, Herman Redock was a great hide painter, and Herman was my mentor. And he showed me everything to do about hides. But he always won first, second, and third. And I have this ego. I don't know if you do, but I do. And I couldn't take that, so I thought, I got to do something else. So I researched, and the buffalo were pretty much all gone from the plains. So the northern plains people, they had to turn, because we didn't have a written language. We had to keep our images alive somehow. So we went to storekeepers and soldiers, and we bartered for their ledger books, their used books. And we put those images that was on hides onto books. And that's why we kept our culture and our ceremonies alive. And so that's why I became the ledger artist. And now there's a lot of us. 20 years ago, there's probably like 5 nationally. Now there's probably 250 out there doing ledger art. The other thing is, I don't need much space to create. Like Roger has to have 2 tables to do his things. I can do mine on 1. Because all I do is I do have an electric pencil sharpener because I do sharpen my pencils quite a bit. And I go through a lot of pencils. Michaels and Hobby Lobby love me because sometimes I go up there, they don't have blue, and I go, oh, cry. Any other questions? Okay.
When do you think your book will be done? The one you're working on?
It's going to be done. It's gotta be done the 3rd week of September because that's when the South Dakota Book Festival is going to be in Deadwood. And if I'm sitting there and if I don't have a book, it's not going to be good. But all the artwork, everything has to be complete by July 7th. Everything, totally. So the publisher can get it and put it together for me. Any other thing? Okay.
What's your inspiration?
My dad. My dad, he was a cowboy. He was a horseman. And he only had an 8th grade education. My mother only had an 8th grade education. And they went to Rapid City and they worked tough, hard jobs. My dad worked in a sawmill. My mom worked cleaning cabins and stuff like that. But they knew education was the only way to go. And they gave me a great education. I came out with my bachelor's teaching degree. But my dad and I, in the evenings, we didn't have a TV because we were poor. We had a radio. So after supper, we would draw, and we'd always use comic books. Goofy, Donald Duck, this guy. I can draw Mickey Mouse. I mean, I can do Mickey. And it's all Prismacolor pencils again. Colored pencils on Prismaboard. And I have 2 granddaughters, and they test me all the time They say, Grandpa, can you draw me Mickey Mouse, you know? And I love his ears and I love his nose. But he's got big feet too. I think he's wearing warrior socks underneath those. But that's my inspiration. My dad's my inspiration. I mean, they both gave their life for me. And I started off in Kyle, South Dakota, population about 100 people. Moved off that scene. Now I go back. I have a ranch at Kyle, my mom and dad's ranch at Kyle. And I love doing sessions like I'm doing tonight here with you guys. And I love working with fourth graders. Fourth grade is my target group because they're so free. They have no problem. And you say, draw a tree. This great big thing emerges, not this little circle with little red apples and this thing that's a trunk, you know. They haven't been, I don't know, shown how to do things too many times. They still see color. That's like me. I love to see color. My horses are blue, they're red, they're yellow. You know, they just pop. And but if you look at horses in the sunlight, when the sun's setting or something like that, you'll see that they're red. They got a red on them. Or the white horses will have black horses will have that nice outline of white around them and stuff like that. So you got to re-see nature. So, go ahead.
You said that you did work with leather hides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was your medium? What was your not the medium, but did you use?
I used earth pigment and rabbit skin glue.
And what?
Rabbit skin glue. If they're flakes off the skin, and then you boil it, and it forms a glue, and you apply that around like an outline, and then you put your earth pigment in there, and it doesn't spread. That's been 40 years ago.
Is it something? I'm just curious because I have a drum that I want to paint at some point when I get the inspiration for it.
Yeah. Go upstairs. Evans Flamand, he's upstairs right now, visiting ours. He does hide painting. Great person. Yeah. Question?
Do you by chance have any artwork in I believe that it was the horse edition of Jason Shepard?
Yeah, I have three horses that are standing upright. They're like detour signs, but they're standing upright.
Yeah, because when the exhibit first opened, I actually went to the opening ceremony. I remember seeing those.
I love to challenge myself for those types of shows, so that's what I did for that one. There's another show down at the Journey Museum in Rapid City currently that has one of my pieces in it, and it's all wire, and it's a sculpture piece. I don't do sculpture, but that one turned out pretty good. Go ahead.
What have you learned about yourself doing art?
I have a real good gift, and I enjoy giving it to young people. And that's the gift of life. I hope you all have a great life. I have a great life. I mean, I don't answer to nobody except me. Well, my wife. That's wonderful. Once you attain what you want to be in life, no matter what it is, what profession it is, and then you can take that and do something you really want to do, a fisherman or whatever, that's the best thing. Of course, I'm 69 years old too, so I've paid a lot of dues down the road. So that's it, life. Any other questions? You haven't asked me any questions. What kind of cookie I like? Chocolate chips, my cookie.
You have a piece here, and it's a winter cup.
Yeah.
Are you doing that?
Well, Anne, who's one of the sisters of Korjak and Ruth, she commissioned me to do that. And she gave me the history of the family. And it was really funny because I started in the center and you go counterclockwise around. Every year you get an image. Well, there's 10 kids. And I called up Ann one day and I says, Ann, I lost a kid. I don't know where he's supposed to be on this count. And it was Monique. That's the one I lost, was Monique. And so Ann had to tell me, well, Monique was born, I think, when you had the dairy. So I had some cows, so I thought, cool, I know where she belongs. So I stuck Monique in with the cows, and so it was fun doing the winter count. And Ann, she's gone now, but she was a beautiful lady. I loved her. And she was my buddy.
How long ago did you do that?
Well, I haven't revised it for 3 years. Ruth left us, and I haven't done one since then. So, but it's a continual. I continue to do it. Anne was real hard because when we lost Anne, we wanted to do her for an image, and she was just tough, man, because she didn't want me to do her. I kept trying to draw her, and one night I was sitting there sketching, and I did her hair, and her hair had a nice little curl to it. And when I did that curl, I said, "I got you, girl." And I finished it. But that curl is what set me to beat Anne. So I got her. So those are little things that you do as an artist. You enjoy those things. Anybody else? I lost my clicker. You're supposed to keep track of this for me. Well, anyway, thank you very much. You've been a great audience. I hope nothing but success for you.